everyone, this is Mel / That's Not My Cow broadcasting for 5 Awesome Realists. So since I didn't post last week, I'm kind of doing a twofer. I'm going to do 2 videos and post them talking about, last week's issues and this week. So we're starting off with healthcare. I'm going to preface this by saying, I was raised in Texas. My experience is very different than Denai's, than Jake's, than, no offense, Canadians. I was raised in a very Republican state. I wish I could put my parents on here talking about healthcare because they're absolutely hilarious in the things they say. To understand that, I think what you think about politics, I think we're still all pretty young and we're greatly influenced, by the way we were raised and what we were told. So I'm going to be different than everyone else. I kind of disagree with a lot of what was said. Jake was talking about, how slow Canadian healthcare is. And I know I talked with someone in Europe in England about how long it took to see a doctor for a cold. That to me is unacceptable. Even if it is free, and I think this is what it comes down to, you're getting what you paid for. For free, yeah, you can wait, 6 years to go see the doctor about a problem. Who knows what could happen to you during that time? I don't think that's the proper way to do it. Do I think it's perfect in America? Absolutely not. I think healthcare is way too expensive in America. But I don't think the Canadian system's right either. Both systems are flawed. I think both systems are broken and imperfect. So much in this world isn't perfect. You look at, our politics. You look at our judicial system. I mean, none of it's perfect. Our economics. Oh my God, our economy. Yeah, our economy's perfect, guys. There is no perfect system. So when you sit there and you think, oh, things are going to be so much better once we switch over, that's not going to happen. I read in my notes that, people are always going to bitch. No matter what you do, people are always going to complain. I think it comes down to money. Pharmaceutical companies are charging way too much. That's a fact. I agree with that. We need some sort of system to limit them for what they're charging for their services, because that is ridiculous. At the same time, I don't think the government, especially our economy being in what it is, should be shelling all this money for healthcare. The main question is, where's the money going to come from? I mean, this sounds kind of harsh, but when you're talking about the impoverished who really need the health care, who can't pay for it, I think there should be a system for them. But at the same time, you can't expect them to get paid for all the time. Just like when I'm going to be very poor very shortly when I leave college, I'm not going to expect people to pay for me, for my life, and for what happens to me. It's just how it goes. I understand that I sound harsh, but I mean, there is no perfect system. There's no going to be like, it's all better now. Fear snap. That's another thing. Did I say something about selling blood? For the record, I give blood. I've never once sold my blood. You can sell platelets, which are in your blood, but that's not selling blood. You give blood for free. I give blood. I don't sell my blood. I've never heard of anyone selling blood. I've heard of giving blood. So, I think you were talking about platelets. I think you're a little confused about that. And I'm not going to sit here and talk, I don't want to talk down to you. This is the way I was raised. And if you don't think I'm right, if you think there is a perfect healthcare system and you can tell me what it is, I'd be happy to hear it. There's nothing in the United States that you're going to say, we're going to implement this law and it's going to be perfect for every single person. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Who's going to pay for it? Thank you so much for watching this video and continue to support me and the other 5 Awesome Realists. And you'll see my video about the animation in just a little bit. Bye, guys!
Perfect example. I had an ingrown hair. So, first, I didn't know it was an ingrown hair. It was just an appointment, and apparently
TMI,
when you have an
Jake.
appointment, you get in there. I got in, and after a couple more visits, they finally decided to freeze my leg, cut open the leg by the little inflamed part,
Ew.
squeeze out the pus,
Oh!
and
Oh!
they stitched it back up.
No!
I don't even know what they did.
Why?
Now, I didn't have to.
Oh, why would you tell me that?
Kind of like it wasn't really a mini surgery. It was more like a mini cut your leg open and
Oh!
you walk home. That's what it was.